Have you ever run out of money on your training project because it just wasn't clear how much work was to be done? And as a result, you didn't budget for significant chunks of the project, or the deliverable got hung up in a never-ending review and edit cycle? Or have you had to defend the project budget because your sponsor didn't have a clear understanding of the volume of work to be done? If you've lived through any of these situations, the next few minutes are for you. Hi, I'm Gordon Young with the Young Resource Group. We build project managers, and I'm teaming with training pros to help you more effectively manage your training development projects. How do you get to a solid work effort estimate for your training projects? There are three commonly used approaches: top-down, parametric or industry standards, and bottom-up estimating. Tossing out a generic number based on the calendar, like it'll take 4 weeks, is called a top-down approach to estimating. Top-down estimates, often called SWAGs, are quick and easy to generate, yet they can be wildly inaccurate in reflecting the reality of the work. A more time-consuming but more accurate method of estimating is called bottom-up estimating. Here's how a bottoms-up approach to estimating might work on a typical training project. First, identify and list out all the one-time reference deliverables that will need to be created or used, such as job aids, reference materials, charts, templates, and standards, and estimate this work effort. You may also have a training project complex enough to require reference materials for the training itself, such as style guides or e-learning templates. These deliverables are completed at the very start of the project and are an input to and reference for the final training products that are being developed. Second, list out all the training project deliverables, which may vary based on the delivery methods your project is using. The important thing here is to simply list the deliverables that come into play so there won't be any missed deliverables down the road. This practice will also facilitate status reporting and resource reassignment should that become necessary. You're building a project puzzle, and each of the deliverables is an essential piece of that bigger, complete picture. Sticky notes are a great vehicle for capturing all the team's ideas about the deliverables that you'll need. If your contract stipulates an exact list of deliverables, you're golden. The chances are you'll have to brainstorm and pare down a list of training deliverables in your future. And I know this sounds like overkill, but taking the time to identify all the deliverables is the key to an accurate work estimate that enables all players. Third, add in separately project management time. You could use a certain number of hours per week or the industry standard of 3 to 5% of the project's total work effort, which is added as project management activity. Fourth and finally, add review time for your SMEs. A rule of thumb you can use here is 2 hours of review time per reviewer for each 1 hour of finished instruction. Now this holds true if you have 1 or 20 reviewers. For example, a 1-hour course with a 1 reviewer will require 2 hours of review, while that 1-hour course with 5 reviewers is going to require 10 hours of review. Now true, you can force fit reviews into smaller time slots, but you are setting yourself up for disaster. Once we've identified the deliverables that need to be created, we now need to focus on estimating the number of hours of effort that will be required to do that work and create those deliverables. This is where our third estimating technique, parametrics, also known as industry standards, comes into play. Now, to illustrate how a training project can be estimated, we're going to walk through a simple example, creating an 8-hour e-learning course. With those industry standards, we're in the sweet spot between a top-down SWAG approach and the detailed bottom-up approach. We're going to rely on industry standards to generate our estimates for each type of work to be done, and then add all those estimates up for our grand total estimate. Using training industry standards, we may find that our estimating numbers shake out like this. Each hour of basic e-learning will require approximately 120 hours of design, development, editing, and approval time. For the 8-hour e-learning course, 960 hours of effort will be required to design and develop the course. 120 to 1 is a pretty good estimated parameter, but I found that projects that rely solely on that 120 to 1 ratio often shortchange 4 important work activities, which I'll share with you now. One commonly overlooked activity is creating the templates for e-learning. We are estimating that to create the templates for all the interactions that will be used and for the information types that will be presented, 80 hours of effort will be required for an 8-hour course. Now, that's a quick rule of thumb type of estimate. Your actual results may vary. Our second category of overlooked items is e-learning templates and standard. After those e-learning templates are created, standards need to be documented that define how language, grammar, and punctuation will be consistently used throughout the e-learning course. The third gotcha, review time. Every hour of e-learning will require approximately 2 hours of review from each subject matter expert. If there's only one for your 8-hour project, then you'll require approximately 16 hours of SME time for the review. Project management is the fourth commonly overlooked work activity. Project management time estimates are based on the overall effort for the project. We're estimating that an additional 5% of the budget needs to be allocated to project management. And in this case, we have approximately 1,096 hours for the project. 5% of that is around 55 hours of project management time. Adding those numbers up, we have the 960 hours for the direct work effort, 80 hours for the templates, 40 hours for the standards, 16 hours for the single SME review, and 55 hours for project management time, totaling 1,151 hours of work. If a cost estimate is needed for the project, using an average hourly rate of $100 per hour for all resources, we come up with an estimated cost for the project of $115,100. So let's look a little broader now. What about the other deliverables that you may be responsible for? The following are standard estimated guidelines for learning and development deliverables. Technical writing, that's 3 to 6 hours per page. Standard operating procedures, job aids, and reference-based talking points all range from 8 to 12 hours each. Instructor-led training, 40 hours per hour of instructor-led training. Webinars, those are 20 hours per hour of webinar training. E-learning, 120 up to 240 hours per hour of training. Remember, estimating the work effort sets up appropriate budgets, expectations, and schedules. Well, you may be thinking, well, who has time for all this estimating? And I hear that a lot. Keep in mind your end goal, which is to deliver a product that enables performance, both by your project team and the products you create. To do that effectively, you need to consider all the hidden work that can sneak up on you. With a detailed bottoms-up approach to estimating the work effort on your projects, you'll be able to more easily justify and defend your requests for funding and resources. If you'd like your team to roll up their sleeves and do a comprehensive plan for your actual live projects you have to deliver, consider our workshop, Woodshedding Project Management, where you'll tailor the day to your needs, 1/2 day to several days, working through the details that matter on your real-world projects.